Hello and good morning, it's Phil Thatch, and I've got Heather with me this morning. And I don't know if you remember a recent video. I found some great crested flycatchers that were nesting in this box directly above my head here, and Heather wanted to see those this morning. So we came out, and it was pouring rain this morning, but we got a little bit of break in the rain, and we got a couple of photos of the great crested flycatcher on the birdhouse. Here's my photograph of the beautiful great crested flycatcher, and it is definitely earning its name as it has a dragonfly in its mouth, and all the rest of these are Heather's. We got there pretty early and it just stopped raining, and look how wet this bird is as it was bringing food to the nestlings. And Heather got a number of shots. Here's another soaking wet shot, and for the most part it was dragonflies that it was bringing, but not 100% of the time. As the morning went further, the bird was able to dry off. I guess as it flies around, once the rain stops, it can dry off pretty quickly. But here it is with another dragonfly, and here it is with one more dragonfly. They were busy feeding the nestlings, but it wasn't always dragonflies, because I think this shot that Heather got is a snail that the great crested flycatcher is bringing to its nestlings. We really enjoyed watching these birds work. The rain slowed down a little bit, and while it was raining, we noticed that the birds were coming and landing kind of in this area, which is maybe 50 yards down the little gravel road here. And so we staked that area out, and I think we got a shot or two of them in trees, and I got a shot, just got really lucky. It landed right here on this little scrub. I think it's like a 254 millimeter shot that I got right there. Turns out it was a 300 millimeter shot that I got of the beautiful great crested flycatcher on that little piece of scrub. And before we went down that way, we drove around because we saw this hawk, and it was soaking wet as well. This is a red-tailed hawk. It was on one of the lights, parking lot lights at the church that's nearby there, and Heather got a shot of it. And when we came back, Heather got a couple of shots of the killdeer that were in the field. I photographed these a number of times the last time we were here, so I didn't make many killdeer shots. So Heather got to enjoy the killdeer photography, and she did a really nice job with it. And next up is Heather's shot of one of the great crested flycatchers there in one of those trees that was just down from the bird nest about 50 yards down the gravel road. Really nice work with this photograph. Then we came back over here by the birdhouse and got a couple more shots of the birds on the house. This is Heather's shot as well. One last shot of the great crested flycatcher. Another dragonfly in its mouth. I think this one's a different species than the dragonflies it was catching earlier. We left the Standifer area and we came to the Summit Knobs Equestrian Trail, the gravel road that leads to it, also known as the Prairie Warbler capital of the world, and you'll never guess what we got photos of. All of the photos in this little section are my photos, and I'll tell you a story that happened this morning while you look at the Prairie Warbler shots that I made this morning. I got up, and old men have to take various pills in the morning, and I got up and I was really tired, but I was getting going because I was excited to go do bird photography, and I took the wrong pills. One of the pills I took this morning before we left to go shooting was a sleeping pill, so I really struggled being motivated and getting going. Matter of fact, when we came home from doing the bird photography, I didn't even get all my photos edited before I had to go to sleep. But even with that little problem, we still enjoyed photographing all these birds, especially the beautiful Prairie Warbler, because it's one of our favorites. We love the fact that it's easy to get shots of them. And I also caught way in the distance this indigo bunting. It was not the first one of season, but one of the first ones this year. I've started using the low speed continuous shutter mode, not the 30 frames per second high speed plus, not the 15 frames per second middle setting high speed, but the lowest continuous setting, low speed continuous. I'm not sure how many frames a second is. I think it's like 4 or 5, but you can shoot forever without hitting the buffer in that mode, which is really nice. And also you don't come home with so many pictures to go through. Now I know if you want to catch that decisive moment, a faster shutter speed is better, but I've been having really good luck, and my keeper rate I think is higher using low speed continuous. Give it a try sometime and see what you think. Here are Heather's beautiful Prairie Warbler photographs, and while we're looking at these shots, I'll tell you a little something about something we've been doing while we're editing lately, Heather and I, and that is we use Lightroom to edit, and the default color profile is Adobe Color. And sometimes the greens just don't look exactly right to me in the Adobe color profile. And we found that if we switch over to Camera Faithful, which is another profile choice you can choose in Lightroom, sometimes the greens look a little better if you use Camera Faithful instead of Adobe Color. Look at the beautiful bokeh in the background of this prairie warbler shot that Heather made. We like to work in this area that's really near the power lines. There's some mimosa trees in the thicket, and one of them has some blooms on it, and a ruby-throated hummingbird came up and got some energy off of those blooms. And both of us made shots. I don't know if either one of them got one, but if we did, we'll show you that now. Neither one of us were really happy with our ruby-throated hummingbird shots, but Heather's was definitely the best. And look, it's only 1/250th of a second, and Heather has captured a hummingbird in flight. Of course, the wings are not frozen, but I still think it looks pretty good. And look at those beautiful mimosa blooms that it was feeding on. Also, right in the same spot where we saw the hummingbird, we found and photographed a yellow-breasted chat. I'm pretty sure both of us got a shot of it. Here is the yellow-breasted chat, and you can see a bokeh-fied mimosa bloom behind its head there. Just a beautiful bird. We love photographing these this time of year. And here is one more of my shots of the yellow-breasted chat, and you can still see the mimosa bloom in the background. And next up is Heather's shot of the yellow-breasted chat. She's got the mimosa bloom in the background as well. And then as we were rolling out, there was a northern mockingbird, and Heather had me stop the car so she could make a photograph of it because she was not about to fall asleep like I was. Okay, that's going to do it for us here at the gravel road that leads to the equestrian trail at Enterprise South Nature Park, the Summit Knobs Equestrian Trail. We hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please take a moment and give us a thumbs up. If you'd like to see some more like this, subscribe, hit the notification bell, because we are out doing bird photography year-round. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.